Hey guys, how we doing? Thanks for joining me for another, was going to say video live stream. Can't believe how quickly these 2 weeks go. Right, let's get straight into it. Nice to see you've joined up again. It's up to you, so we'll see you in the member stream a little bit later on. And a couple of tests going on there. What were you doing there? Thanks for the $1.99 anyway. Obviously testing your super chat ability, I guess. Very, very hot here in Thailand at the moment. Very, very hot. It's supposed to be rainy season. We're getting the odd shower. Nothing like last year, but it is extremely hot. And I've also noticed there's a lot more people here now. A month ago, I could notice it was quieter. And I was speaking to a friend of mine who came in. He's just gone back, actually. He was here a couple of months ago, and he said he really noticed it's starting to get busy now. So that's good news. Hey then, how you doing? Hi, Peter. And getting first in line in a way that would outrage a group of, well, never mind. This is just to say whether my new card works. It works. There you go. Another one from there. Sorry, it doesn't. It doesn't. Okay. Everything electronic is difficult and doesn't work. We'll have a good chat, everyone. Okay. Right. So you got to say that has a bod, an AI MILF. If you're talking about the girl on the intro card there, that wasn't AI. That's a genuine girl. Although I did cheat. She isn't Thai. She's Indonesian, but it was a real photograph. It wasn't. The problem is now AI is so good. It's so difficult to tell, isn't it? Who's that messaging me now? Make sure it's not Franco. Hi, Thomas. How you doing, Thomas? I know you're in Hua Hin now, obviously. David, how you doing? Nice to see you in. And we've got Richard Woolley there, 346. Let's just get these currencies up. We haven't had these up for a while. Right, there we go. You can see what your currency is doing. That's of today. Little bit up on the bar at the moment. Hopefully your currency is there. Jesse, how you doing? Nice to see you in. Good evening to you and everyone. Anders, how are you? Dog, Sawadee Crab, are you okay? David 0100, good to see you in as well. Mike, a blast from the past. Good evening, Sir Peter. Sir Peter, I like it. YNO. Good to catch the live stream now. Back in the USA. Looking forward to catching up with the news and indeed your great channel. Thanks very much. It's a little bit quiet on YouTube at the moment, but I think it's across the board because, you know, I've got this second channel now called Thailand. I forgot the name of it. Not Thailand Bound Clips. Somebody else runs that for me because I just don't have enough time. And the guy who suggested it, I said, well, if you want to go for it, you go for it. And, we'll work things out, and that seems to be going okay. But I've noticed that channel's kind of gone quiet. This channel's going quiet. A lot less new subscribers and watch hours and stuff. I just think it's a time of year. I remember last year it was very quiet, but we've got over 121 in the stream now, not even 6 minutes. So hopefully it'll be a good one tonight. Who else we got in there? Remy, how you doing? I think my only French viewer, subscriber. We must meet up for another coffee. I found a great place to have a coffee on Sukhumvit. We'll go there one day. Uncle Willie B, good morning. All cup of coffee in hand. Live stream about to start. All in a good morning. Start in Los Angeles, California. Been to LA a couple of times. Yeah, nice place in certain areas. Okay. Paul, good to see him. Paul, we missed you last week. People, you're one of the oldest. I just smiling because I'm thinking of your bad jokes. But, you've been in the live stream, I think, right from the beginning, watching a good 4 years, 5 years. And people notice when you're not there, Who was it who noticed last week? Somebody said, I haven't seen Paul Hoskins in tonight. Good to see you in, Paul. Real deal TV, how are you doing? Rachel, how are you? It's good to, I presume you're a woman. A picture of a dog. Get myself in trouble here. No, it's good to, seriously, it's good to, every now and again I do get 1 or 2 women in it. It's always good because I forget, you see, a lot of the women, they like the Saturday morning stories, and I just assume that it's all guys who come in here and there's no women want to, listen to my me going on and all. But yeah, there is the odd woman. Which is good. Gives us another perspective, as they say. Okay, I'll put them back up later. Alfred, Jim, back to Manila, crying on the way up them steps. Yeah, I made a video once, Jim. Jim's a friend of mine now. I met him through YouTube. He comes over here about once every couple of months. He's got things going on here, but he runs a business in the Philippines, works for somebody. and he has to spend a lot of his time in the USA now. And we went out for a meal to Suda on Soy 14 last night? I can't remember. Memory's gone. I think the night before. And he left, and the last bit, you've gone through you've checked in your bags and everything. This is Sawanapon, and you've got the escalator, it's going up, and that's the point of no return, isn't it? And he sent me a picture from there saying it's very depressing. But you'll be back soon, Jim. You'll be back soon. Won't be long. Time goes quickly. Is it Sandeep? How you doing? Hi, Peter's from Sydney. Good to see. I can't pronounce your last name. I don't want to slaughter it, so I'll just say hi to you there. The KY Balian, is it? C61. They were putting free flights on. You're talking about internally Thailand, right? That's something that the the government want to do. They want to give free internal travelers, free internal flight. I don't know all the details, but that's something they're talking about to encourage tourism, because tourism's down quite a bit at the moment. I've got the numbers somewhere. A lot of the Chinese are not coming anymore. There's still a lot of Chinese coming, but they're trying to do everything they can to boost tourism, because the numbers are down from pre-COVID by quite a bit. Paul, do you ever play a round of golf? I've never been a golfer, Paul. It's not my game. No, I'll be honest with you. Golf is very big here. Some great clubs in Pattaya and Hua Hin, as all over the country. And there's a lot of golfers here. But I don't. Are you AI, Peter? I wish. Right. Anders, AI women scare me. They got no emotion. Jeff Fried Rice, haven't seen you for a while, Jeff. Good to see you. And hey, Peter, good to see you. I'm seeing a lot about police raids in Pattaya and tourists getting broccoli tested and jailed. Do you have any insights on this? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of news at the moment. What they're trying to do, I know it's always been a bit of a joke in the past about turning Pattaya into a family-orientated city, for families rather than mongers, as it were. And they are, they're doing a lot of big changes in Pattaya, and they are cracking down on that sort of thing. And they're doing raids. Vapes are illegal here in Thailand. They're cleaning up all the foreign beggars. When I say foreign beggars, I'm talking about, they come over from Laos and was Cambodia before the conflicts. And you know what it's like. You're sitting on the edge on a bar next to the beach road, and they just don't leave you alone, do they? So they're trying to clean that up. All of the unlicensed sellers, people who just come along with a cart, they've got to have licenses to do that. They've got to apply to town city hall for a license, and then they can come along with a cart. You can't just come along. So they've got people who check that and move them on if they haven't got licenses. And the broccoli is a big deal. Yeah, they're trying to clean it up. They want to get rid of it completely, and they're doing a lot of raids on that now. Can't give you any specifics. I only see the same sort of thing you see, Jeff, in the news. But yeah, they're serious about it. They're not playing games. Langley, is it Langley? How you doing? Langley 2931. How you doing? Vinny, DVD. Hi, Pravel. Good evening, Peter. How's it going? All good, I hope. Very good, very good. Very hot at the moment. I'm trying to. When you live here, you got to try to work. And if you come here as a tourist, you just got to go out and get hot, right? But when you live here, you want to try and be comfortable. So what I try to do is I try to go out, and if I've got anything to do, I'll go out in the morning, like filming or something. I'll go out in the morning, maybe 9:30. I make sure I'm back in my apartment by about 12, unless I'm in an air-conditioned mall or something. And then I'll go out again. If I need to go out again, I'll go out again about 4:35, because 1, 2, 3 o'clock, it's just so hot. It just wears you down. You go out and you're sweating, and your underwear and everything gets wet, and then you go into some air conditioning, and you come out and you feel dirty, and it's just not nice. So it's a bit, I suppose, a little bit like the Mexican way. I don't have that siesta in the afternoon, but I try not to go out too much in the afternoons. Michael Ward, married to a Thai girl. I live in the UK, and my wife's lives. Oh, Roya. She lives in Roya. Can I still keep my bank account? People are panicking over this bank account thing. So what's happening? There's a lot of videos out there. There's tourists are not really supposed to have a local bank account now. Okay. And what they're doing, it used to be very easy for a tourist to open a bank account, whether it's with an agent or whatever. Now they've knocked that all on the head, because there were some crypto scammers were opening bank accounts, and Bangkok Bank just kind of said, right, that's it. And what they did, and I did it as well, because my first bank my first account was opened for me through Mark from One Stop Visa. I was on a tourist visa the first year, not tourist, retirement visa. So I knew this was coming. So I went down to the bank, and I I had to show them the lease to my apartment. I had to prove that the telephone number was mine. So I went into AIS. It's about 80 baht, and you get a little slip of paper that says you own that number. So you take that, your passport, your lease, and then they just update their systems. And personally, I've had no problems. But last week, they shut down a whole bunch of accounts. And I think at one of the banks in Pattaya had 70 foreigners in there trying to sort out their accounts, and one window open, but they all got sorted out. As long as you've got your lease, your passport, and that paper to say you own that number, will get sorted out. But in answer to your question, if you've got a Thai wife here, you should be fine. I mean, you can't do it obviously from where you are. But when you're here, I presume you're not in the country at the moment, but when you're here, if you go to the bank with proof that you're married to a Thai citizen, and you take your lease, whatever, they'll tell you what to bring. I forgot a little bit of it wrong. Yeah, you'll be fine to keep your bank account. No problems there. There's always a few ruin it for everybody else, isn't there? I don't. Somebody's there. Flu buddy. Do you know any Freemasons in Thailand? That they'll be here, right? They'll be here. Of course they will. But it's just not my sort of thing. It's not something I've looked into. The KY Ballion, is it C61? Not the ghetto areas, right? Okay, that's you're talking about California, right? I remember when we were in California, we rented a car and we pulled into this gas station, as they say, petrol station in the UK, and we were paying for the gas, for the petrol. And the attendant, he says, "Hey, you're not from around here, are you? I can tell from your accents." Clever guy he was. And he says, "You better get out of here. This is gangland area." And we were like, "What?" And we didn't have any problems, but he actually told us that. Martin Ryder. So, Paul, I was trying to think who was it who said we haven't seen Paul Hoskins in the stream, and it was actually it was Martin Ryder. There we go. I don't know what that I'm not going to read that out, Martin. Shane, he was okay. I'm trying to stay away from one subject because I've got no proof of what that comment says, so I'm not going to read it out. IQ Micro, is it? Hello from Canada. I'm looking for a young Thai girl. I'm 45 years. Best way to navigate this before I go in October. Well, if you're only coming here for a short time, this is something that comes up again and again. Even guys of my age, dinosaurs, as it were, they'll come out here for a month and they'll say, "Look, I want a girlfriend or someone I can spend a month with, but I don't want a bar girl. I want somebody, a decent regular girl." Well, a decent regular girl's not going to date you for a month. What Thai girls are looking for, they're looking for stability. But saying that, I mean, if you're kind of like, if the girl's kind of, 30 upwards, 30, 40, she's going to want to date a guy who's here full time. He's either retired or he's working and she's with him. Overseas relationships don't work that great, do they? Unless it's somebody who comes for 2-3 months, goes back for 2-3 months, comes back. Well, then there's a chance. But in answer to your question, I mean, you're 45, you could lie and say you're 40. You can head down. There's certain areas where younger Thai, when I say younger, I'm talking 25, maybe 28. They go out and they want to have fun, nightclubs. So in answer to your question, just around Carlson Road, any Thai nightclubs, live bands, that sort of thing. There are regular Thai girls, and if you're a handsome man, then you'll be all right. Okay, that's what I thought, Martin Ryder, 6910. I didn't read out the comment. I'm not going to because there was someone in the other week say that, and I'm just going to ignore it. Okay, fair enough, KY. If that's genuinely what you thought. Okay, Kev 12364. Michael Ward says yes, you can, as I do. Okay, Damon. Good evening, young sir. I did call you last week, Damon. Tried to have a little chat, but I don't think you had your phone strapped to your forehead like you normally do. Harry, hi Peter, looking forward to another of your interesting streams. Thanks for what you do. Cheers. Anders, let's put you up there, new member, so we'll see you in the member stream. If you're wondering how the member stream is different to the regular stream, the first half is pretty much the same, but when we go into the second half, I do competitions and stuff, spot the lady boy, spot the Thai girl, joke of the week, the manga minute, all the stuff I used to do during COVID. It's just a little bit different, just something there for the members. Right, Mark, leaving Thailand tonight. Oh dear. Had a great time with my wife and her family, been a lot quieter than usual this time. I think it's a bit busier at the moment. Just because, in case any of them are watching, I don't know why, but for some reason, this week I've had a lot of guys approach me in the street, and the situation. I'm walking down Sukhumvit Road. A guy's walking towards me, and he's like, And I'm thinking, shit, is he going to punish me? But, they just stop and say, look, I'll watch your channel, say hello. So any of those guys, I can never remember names. If I met you, it was good to meet you. And thanks for watching me, as it were. Yeah, you'll be back soon, hopefully, Mark. Paul, I always carry... No, I'm not reading that out. Then, hit the like button. Yeah, helps with the algorithm. Vinny DVD, Thailand or Philippines? What's the question? There's no question there. Just as Thailand and the Philippines. What? Better weather? Nicer women? Cheaper to live? Give me a real question and I'll answer it. Ray Ross, hey Peter, I found your Indian restaurant last week. Do you know they're thrilled to bits in there? They're lovely girls. And when I say they're lovely girls, I mean in a genuinely lovely way, not they're all wearing. I won't go down that rabbit hole. No, he's talking about the new Bakara. It's very close to Nana Station. Imagine you're in Nana Station. Okay, there's one elevator for the Americans, lift for the English. There's an elevator / lift. Okay, you go down in that, and then when you come out, you go in the same direction as if you were heading towards Nana, and you'll see a big blue sign. It's a great restaurant. I don't get any backhanders when my videos come up. There's always a sign, there's always a sign that says this video has paid promotion. Well, it's not the restaurants or the hotels. They don't give me nothing, okay, not even a free meal. The paid promotion is my sponsors, Thai Legal Protection and Mark from One Stop Visa, because I think they're good companies, so we work together. But as for that restaurant, yeah, it's very, very good. If you're from England, it's the nearest thing you'll get to a good Ruby Murray when you come out the pub. Slaughtered, Ruby Murray curry, and yeah, give it a try. And I was actually embarrassed the other day. Honestly, this is a funny story. So I went in there with Jim, who's just gone back. So I always take the end table nearest, like where the cash register is, and the few bottles of drink up there and everything. So you walk in the front door. Right last table on their left, because it's a little two-seater, and I always go in there with one other person, and I like to sit looking at the restaurant. Okay, so I'm in there eating I order my food, and normally they have a flat screen TV above the door over there, and I'm sitting there just about to eat, and they put the bloody video on. I did a review of that restaurant, and I'm there, and they put the volume up, and it was really embarrassing, because I'm like, yeah, this is really nice, and everybody in the restaurant's twisting their necks, and that's him, But all joking aside, I mean, they're lovely people, and they, when you order, if you say, I don't want it too spicy, or I want it this way, or not as much chicken, they listen to you, and they do it properly. And if you go in there, say hi to Rita from me. Lovely girl. Right, the bloke. Evening, Peter. Good to join again. Yeah, nice to see you in. Yeah, PFIT, is it? 111, thank you very much. Pravo, flights up bar 3,500 only for foreigner. Yes, similar to what Japan had a while ago. I'm not sure what that refers to, but some people might. Okay, Paul, is it the high bar girl prices causing a drop of tourists? No, not at all, Paul. There's a lot of things in the mix, isn't there? I mean, the economy. Look at the economy in England now. People just haven't got the spending power unless they're wealthy. But a lot of people have had to knock holidays on the head because they just haven't got the money anymore, right? And if you're one of those guys who come here and you want to entertain the ladies, it is expensive now. People say Thailand's still cheap, and it is very cheap if you want to live. I don't bar fine girls or sit in Nana Plaza, so I still don't live really cheaply. But you come out here for a couple of weeks, you need a serious wedge in your pocket now. Wedge for non-English, it's like a wedge of money, wad of money. Right, Michael. Okay, you're talking to Kev. Right, David. Hi, Peter. I'm visiting Thailand in November. Is the new digital entry a big thing? No, it's very, very easy. It replaces the old TM32. So, when you flew in, you got a slip. There was a big part to it and a small part, and you had to put your passport number, where you're staying, what date you're leaving, and all that. It's just an electronic version of that. So there is a website. It's easy to find. You go in, you fill in the same information, and that's it, done and dusted. Dead easy. People get their knickers in a twist over things like this. It's like the 90-day reporting. If you're on a long-term visa, like a retirement visa, every 90 days, in the old days, you had to go to immigration, prove where you were living, and that was it for 90 days. And it was a pain in the ass. And I met a guy. It's all online now. I met a guy when I come out of my place near Soi 10. And I hadn't seen him for a few days. And I was like, I haven't seen you. Where have you been? I thought you'd gone back to your country. He said, I went down to Pattaya. I had to do my 90-day reporting. I'm like, he's in Bangkok, yeah? And I said, why did you go down to Pattaya? He said, well, that's where I got my visa. I had to go to immigration. And I said, you do it online, it takes 2 minutes. And he was like, really? Yeah, so you know what they say, information is valuable, isn't it? Knowledge is power, is it? Canary spreads his wing. Good to see you in again. Haven't seen you for a while. Rains a lot this time of year. We've had some heavy downpours, but it's not every day. Ben Leno, Lao people are not beggars. You got that wrong. So let me put it in perspective. There are beggars from every country, even the US and the UK and Australia. Every country has got beggars, okay? Where there's a massive tourist area like Pattaya, where people have got money to burn, you're going to get people from neighboring countries who come in and they work on building sites, they work on the road, and a number of them will go to Pattaya to beg because pickings are rich, okay? There are Lao beggars in Pattaya. I've spoke to them, I've seen them. There were Cambodian beggars in Pattaya. There were beggars from a lot of the countries that are bordering around Thailand. So I'm not saying it to offend anybody. It's just a fact of life. There are beggars from Laos in Pattaya. It's a fact of life. Kev, Michael Ward, I am on my bank, not being frozen. My wife is Thai and no problems with the bank whatsoever. Yeah, it'd have been frozen by now if you'd had problems. When I went in to renew my Bangkok bank in Pattaya to renew the details, I said to the woman, I said, well, I haven't had any problems yet. And she said, well, we're not really looking at accounts that are older than 2 years old. I don't know whether that's true or not, because a lot of people have just recently had their account frozen, haven't they? But it's not too hard to have it unfrozen. And if you don't live here, don't worry about it, because when you come in, well, yeah, if you don't live here, you can't have one, can you, I suppose? Right, Peter Stream Dim Sim, Aussie dollar getting pummeled, 24 baht a year ago, now 20. Yeah, not good. Okay, I don't know who that's for Kev, because I don't have a Thai wife myself. Yeah, okay, so that's a good point. So Kev said, Michael, if the bank does not know you have a Thai wife, you need to inform them. So basically, if you opened your account just as a regular tourist, or and it could be frozen, you might have got married to a Thai. But if you haven't informed the bank, then they could still freeze your account. Of course, you could go in and prove you're married, and then they would unfreeze it. Okay, so you said, Pete, I think I've heard before you said you had a work permit. How does that work? So I can't really tell you too much about it because I've done it a different way. I've got contacts here. I've lived here this time 3 years. I work with other people, other companies, and somebody managed to get me one. I didn't want to get in trouble, on YouTube. But the way I got it, I can't really explain it here. It's quite difficult to get a work permit. I'll leave it at that. You have to read between the lines, okay? Let's get a few from people who haven't said hi to you yet. Okay, Rachel. Yes, in the US, the safe area, you don't even need to lock your doors. A dangerous area. I've never been there for a reason. It's the same in every big city, isn't it? You've got your areas where you wouldn't go, and a lot of very honest areas, I guess. Same in London. Florida Gator, nice to see you in. How you doing? And also Siri A. I hope I haven't slaughtered your name. The one Rob, how are you doing? B Tockley 1052. Have you ever visited Surin and Buriram? I've been to Surin. I haven't been to Buriram. That's right up there on the border, isn't it? Buriram's got a very world-class, first-class race circuit up there. My favorite YouTube name, Whitaker Winstanley 40. It used to be the second. They've changed it. Wow, chaos in England. Look at the protests, live streams. People have had enough. You know what? Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm not going to get into it because it'll open up a can of worms, and that's all we'll talk about for the whole stream. But you're right. Who can blame them, right? Who can blame them? Okay, is that I'll put it up. I can't say your name, but thank you very much for the compliment. Sean, how you doing? Hey, Pete, I trust all is well and good. How is Wahin and trust all is well? So, yeah, I'm moving down to Wahin, I hope before the end of the year. I found a place down there. It's a 3-bedroom house, like a single story house. It's, you know where the Market Villa is, if you've been there before, and Soy 94, it's about 7 miles from there. But the thing is, I can drive my car from there into Blueport or Market Village in 15 minutes because there's no traffic. On the highway, you actually go like you do in any other country. It's not like Bangkok. I'm just trying to sort stuff out at the moment. I've grown out of Bangkok now. It's 3 years. I just want a slower pace of life. And I'm looking forward to doing, making videos from down there. And I'll be able to travel around the coast and visit some other beautiful areas down there. I've already found some nice hidden away seaside towns that would be very nice for guys who like to go somewhere with just a few quiet bars and a few quiet ladies in them bars. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to doing some. I've noticed one or two of the YouTubers who are based in Hua Hin, they tend to either come to Bangkok to film or they film in Hua Hin. There's not many of them that I've seen actually go around the local area. I mean, within a half an hour, 45-minute drive. Get Carter, 1970. That was a great movie. Michael Caine. I didn't like the remake of it. Who was that? Sylvester Stallone. The original was great. That haunting music. Right. Hello, Peter. Looking at condos, ATM, any advantages of what level to choose? Choice of third, which has a pool on the 10th, 11th, 13th, one from top with all the balconies. To be honest with you, with this recent earthquake we had, I don't think I'd want to be in an apartment up high. I'm in a solid building. I'm on a low floor, below 5 floors. I'm not going to tell you exactly which floor I'm on. Somebody is in the same building. I was talking to him the other day. He was on the 2nd floor. I was in patio, so I didn't feel anything. He thought he was having a heart attack because the whole thing was shaking. Can you imagine the effect of that up on the 45th floor? In fact, I bumped into a school teacher, an American lady, Australian lady in the lift, and she was looking for an apartment. I said, "Oh, have you just moved here?" And she says, "No, I've got an apartment. I'm on the 46th floor, but I want to get out of there. I'm scared to death. I can see the daylight through the cracks of the building." So I'm just telling you what I would do now. If I was looking for an apartment and I had the choice of a lower floor, I would. And also I'd go for an older building because they're much more sturdy. Like, the walls are quite thin in the new apartments. They're not as thick. I mean, these are solid walls in this apartment. It was built around 91, I think it was. So it's about 30 years old. Alibaba and the 40 ladies. Top ladies in Thailand are pulling in 70K for just 10 days work and double that if they choose to work 20 days to 8 months. Sponsoring, that is out the question unless you can pay at least that. It depends how good looking it is, doesn't she? If she's like 55 and looks like the back end of a bus, she might be cheap. Who knows? I've met Thai girls who make 50,000 baht a month just on ladies' drinks, Shane 6946, will you still go to Pattaya sometimes? I know you have gone off it a bit. Pattaya is a great city, isn't it? It's one of those, I first went down there in the early 90s. It's changed a lot now. I'm looking at it from an old man's point of view. Guys who go there for the first time, it's a real cosmopolitan city now, isn't it? I mean, they do events from all over the world. It's a location for, huge concerts, and there's a lot goes on there, and it's a very diverse society down there. But it's not what I remember when I was younger going down there. And looking back as an old man, I preferred it when I was younger and I went down there. Now, I don't want to criticize it because it's nothing. One or two things have changed that I don't like. But will I still be going down there? I dare say I'll occasionally go down there. But the problem is it's a 5-hour drive from Hua Hin because you've got the Bay of, what do you call it? Bay of Thailand. What's it called? The Gulf of Thailand. So you've got Pattaya. It's like a horseshoe. Pattaya is on one side and Hua Hin's on the other side. And they used to run a ferry service for about 1,200 baht. And there's been a lot of lies on social media saying that's up and running again. It's all BS. It isn't. They went under, basically. They didn't sink. The business went under during COVID. But yeah, Pattaya is a great city. I can't knock it. But, I was in my late 30s when I first went down, and it was a different town, totally different. You didn't have all those high-rise hotels. Walking street wasn't like it literally looks like Las Vegas now, neon lights everywhere. I mean, at the very best, you had colored bulbs, when you went into a lot of bars, they had fairy light. You know what fairy lights are? The strips of light around the bar, and you couldn't see for about 5 seconds when you walked in. The go-go bars as well, they were a lot simpler back then. They were very cheaply done, you could say, not like the modern places down there now. So I'm sure there's thousands of people still love it because they visit Pattaya. But for me, it's like an old overcoat. It served me well. but it's worn out now for me personally, if that makes sense. Right. Right. Rain in Blood. Don't worry. Wedge is an English word. Yep. Can't pronounce the name, so I'll put it up. Kun Peter, I had to cancel my Thailand holiday because economy is terrible here in the UK. That's what I was saying earlier, isn't it? There's a lot of things in the mix to stop people coming here. Now, who's that giving me a nice super chat there? First one tonight, Joyce Romer, as always. Thank you, mate. Hey, Peter, sorry to hear about your face. I hope it gets fixed soon. Now, people who haven't heard what I said, they're going to think, his face? What's happened? Thanks for the super chat. Right, let me just go back to where I was, and then I'll touch on that point. I think I'm quite way behind on these comments, so I might have to jump past a few. And I don't know if you're joking or not, but you say, can you recommend a good, inexpensive ice cream brand? Do you know what? I can, but I forgot the bloody name of them. They're everywhere, but the one I remember is in the basement of Terminal 1. And they're like 15 baht for a cone or something ridiculous. Dairy Queen. They're everywhere. You get a cone, or so you might be joking, but if you aren't joking, Dairy Queen. So what's this thing about my face? So I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that mark there? So I had a lump there, and I went to get a biopsy, and it turned out to be cancer. And of course, when you hear that, your backside does that, doesn't it? You think cancer, because it's just that word. It's like, well, I'll be dead next week. But actually, when the dust settled down, I'm not worried about it at all, because I had the biopsy. There's 4 different kinds of cancer, and the one I've got is the most common one that people get. It's mainly caused from being in the sun too long. I can't remember the name of it. I don't need to know the name of it, you know. But what it is, I'm going to have a little portion. I'm going to have it cut out here, and there'll be a little bit of a scar there. I'll look like a gangster then. But all joking aside, it's not. I've read online, and I asked the doctors here, who are very good. There's a less than 1% chance of it spreading, and that's normally when it's been left to grow. I got this very, very early. As soon as the lump come up, I got the biopsy, went in, they told me, it's just, where am I going to get it cut out now? Because I'm self-insured. I don't have insurance. So I went to MedPark to get the biopsy. They quoted me 68,000 baht to have this little operation. That's about £1,500, okay? And I thought, right, well, this is worth shopping around, because a lot of good hospitals. So I went to the Christian hospital down on Saladang, which is one that the insurance companies recommend because they're very reasonable. Still a private hospital, but what I like to say, how I compare them, it's like walking in the lobby of a 5-star hotel and walking in the lobby of a 3-star hotel. You can see the difference. But the food is still good. The bedroom's still good. There's just a few, you know what I'm trying to say. So MedPark quoted me 68,000, and Christian Hospital on Saladang has quoted me 30,000. So that's a bit better. That's kind of like about what's that, £700. It's still a lot of money, but it'll be professionally done. A week later, the stitches will come out, and within 3 months, there'll be no scarring, maybe a very light line. So I'm not, although it's cancer, I'm not really concerned about it too much. The only thing is, I'm supposed to stay out the sun. So when I go down to Hua Hin this Thursday, I'm going for 4 nights, trying to sort everything out down there. I'm going to have to put a little round, I'm on the wrong side. I'm going to have to put a little round plaster on there, but you can get these clear ones. You can't even notice them. But thanks for asking, Joyce Roma. Right. Chris, how you doing? You're normally first in. You're late on parade. Yeah, I have met him. David, I can't pronounce his last name. Apparently he's a very nice guy, but he might have issues coming up with his photography, his style of photography, as in quite a few guys. I was going to save this, but let me read this out to you. So this is a new rule. You know, Thailand is very strict on privacy laws. I'll read it out and then I'll discuss it with you. So it says, new law on filming in Thailand and how it affects YouTubers. So obviously I was concerned about it, but I don't make videos like he does, for instance. So it says, to be clear, there isn't a brand new law that bans YouTubers or tourists from using their cameras. What's happening is that Thailand's existing laws, especially the Personal Data Protection Act, are now being enforced more strictly. Under that law, you cannot collect or use someone's personal data without their consent, and that includes filming their faces. There is also section 397 of the criminal code, which makes it an offence to film someone in a way that causes annoyance, intimidation, or embarrassment. Breaking that can get you a fine of 5,000 baht or even a short jail sentence. So what does this mean for YouTubers? If you're filming street scenes, markets, or nightlife, you need to be careful if someone is identifiable. You should either get their permission or blur their face if a person tells you to stop filming. You need to stop. Ignoring them could land you in legal trouble. Thailand has already handed out millions of baht in fines this year for breaches of the data protection rules, so it's not something to take lightly. The bottom line is this: filming in Thailand is still allowed, but consent is now key. If you're respectful and careful, you won't have a problem. If you ignore the rules, you could find yourself in court. And there was a Chinese guy who's in a lot of trouble because he sold his car to a dealer, and this dealer didn't speak any English, okay? And this Chinese guy, he said, this is buying my car, and he's saying, look at him, he looks like an ape, you know. And the Thai guy, not speaking any English, was, you know, thought he was talking nice about him. I mean, he's in a lot of trouble now. So what does it mean? It's not just YouTubers. If you come to Thailand, you take pictures. So the reason I reference that guy, he doesn't stick his camera in people's faces, but myself personally, I don't make those sort of videos. I made one video once where I had a hidden camera and I went along the beach road. This is years ago, and I was filming the ladies on Beach Road. And somebody wrote to me and said, look, Peter, that's not right. They've got families. You know, everyone's got internet now. It could destroy their lives or, you know, whatever. And I thought, you know what, he's right. I deleted it and I never made another one. So the sort of videos I make, you obviously you subscribe to my channel, so you know the sort of videos I make. I would say 70% of the videos I make are made in my apartment. You know, I'm either reading out the stories or I'm doing 20 things you shouldn't do in Thailand or 10 reasons expats. So, you know, those sort of videos. And then I'll go out and I'll do a hotel review and I'll do a food review. And occasionally I'll do one where I'm filming people. So what they're basically saying here is, and this is not just YouTubers, this is anybody with a camera, right? If you're one of these guys who wants to film the girls in the bar, so you're sitting at a bar and there's a pretty girl sitting on the bar opposite in a short skirt with her legs crossed over, and you look at her and you just put your camera up on the bar like that and you zoom in and you film her for a couple of minutes, and then you upload that on TikTok. What a beautiful girl. And she sees that, she can actually go to the police and have you prosecuted because you don't have her permission to do that, okay? So these guys who go around patio filming all the girls, you know, they're going up and down the streets and filming the girls. If they're identifiable and one of those girls doesn't like the fact that she's on that video, she can legally now go to the police and they will take it seriously. They will see who's put that up there and they will go and either arrest him or speak to him. So the whole point of me waffling on about this, if you're coming out here with a camera, be really, really careful, guys, because they are deadly serious about it now. And if you are a YouTuber, if you're a YouTuber who just, you know, you go out and you're in an airport, for instance, you say, hey, I'm in the new Suvarnabhumi, not new now, but, you know, I'm in Suvarnabhumi airport. It's really first class, it's big, and you sweep your camera around like this, and there's people walking about and coming past you. They're not really concerned about that. They're not really bothered. You know, you're in a market somewhere, and you're like, hey, I'm in this really cool market, and there's people who are walking around. Of course, there's going to be people. They're not bothered about that. What they're bothered about is these guys who are doing secret filming, zooming in on people, you know, and this sort of thing. So again, just to make the can't even get the word out now, too much water. Just if you come in here and you like taking photography, if you're a photographer, just be careful about filming people now because they are really strict about it. Okay, right, let's have a look. Not sure on that one, Paul. Frank Travel sounds dodgy, Peter. Mark, how you doing? I haven't seen you in the stream for a while. Good to see you in. Get you up there. Mr. Balding, 1936. Hello, Peter. Do you know anything about the free domestic flights in Thailand? Well, I spoke about that a little bit earlier. There's no details being ironed out, but it's just something that's being spoken about to try and encourage tourism. They're talking about free flights internally for tourists. Whether it will come offer yet, I don't know. There's nothing signed in blood, as it were. Nothing's gone in the Royal Gazette. Nothing's been decided. It's like everything in Thailand. You know, there's a lot of talk. Will it happen or won't it happen? You know, you probably know as much as I do. Travel Man Today. Hello, Peter. Have a nice, wonderful day. Thank you, Travel Man Today. I was going to give you somebody a mention actually, and I've forgotten who was it now. Somebody who helped me out with something. Do you know what? I've lost his link. Okay, if you're watching this, you know who I'm talking about. You told me about those broken links. Okay, just drop me an email, and when you've done it, just put a message in saying you've sent the email, and I'll give your channel a little plug because it is a good channel. It's a travel. It's not just about Thailand, but what he did for me was I had some broken links. You know, it's like check out my playlists, and a couple of them weren't working, and he said, look, you need to go in and do this, and they're all working now. And I said, well, look, I'll give you channel a mention. It could have been this one, Travel Man Today. I think it was actually, but I'd like to put a link up. So if you do get this, send me a quick email, because I get so many emails every day, and I kind of try and delete the ones I don't need anymore, and I might have accidentally deleted it unless you sent it to my other email address. No, it would have been Thailand bound, wouldn't it? Oh, I'm kicking myself now. Right, okay, no worries. Hopefully you'll send it. Right. Yeah, Paul Hoskins. If Thailand hosted an Olympic Games, that would boost the tourists. The only thing is you have to bid for it, don't you? There's no guarantee. Damon, Peter, my house is only 15 minutes from the Buriram race circuit. As you know, you are always welcome. It's just a hell of a way to get up there, isn't it, Damon? I mean, I don't get a lot of time away, you know. I'd like to get up there sometime, and I'd love you to be able to come down to Hawaii and look where I'm going to live. Martin Ryder, have you heard about plans for increase in inheritance tax and stamp duty on selling houses? Bad news for us landlords. Yeah, I have, Martin, but it's on houses over £500,000. It's not, you know, like I don't know how much the houses you own are worth, but it's 500,000. Yeah, Robo Huahin is nice. It is. Anders, when I was there on a 60-day tourist visa and came to immigration to extend for 30 more days, they got really pissed at me for not going with the girlfriend's mom, owner of the house, to register at immigration. You know what? If you get any hassles, just get Mark to do it down in. It's 5,500 baht to do it. You can do it yourself for 2,000. So you spend another 3,000 baht. But you know, you go on holiday. What's that, Franco? Your mic's behind on the chat. Not sure what. It's not in sync or what? Not sure what you mean there. Phone me, Franco, and tell me, because I'm not sure what you mean. I'll pick the phone up quickly. Yeah, just get an agent to do it. You give the agent it the next day. It'll be done. Franco again. Miles. I don't understand what you mean, Franco. You said my mic is behind on the chat. Do you mean that I'm miles away behind on the chat? Is that what you mean? Let me have another look. You've put your mics behind on the chat. Do you mean miles behind on the chat? Okay, what I'm going to do, I think he means I'm miles behind, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to skip a load of the chat because I'm just falling too far behind. If you've got a question, ask me again. I'll pick it up on the next round. Okay, I'm not ignoring you. I'm gonna jump down because okay. Let me start with this one. This is I can't pronounce the name, but thank you very much for the beer there. Very nice of you. Okay, I'm going to start from here. So if I've missed any and it's important, you want to ask me a question, just tell it again. Is that what you meant, Franco? Did you mean miles behind on the chat, not Mike's behind on the chat? Only me. We're going to say a belated happy birthday to Franco. It was his birthday a couple of days ago, and I did remember because I put it down in my calendar. And all the guys down there in Pattaya, they clubbed together and they got him a flight in a microlight, because there is a little airport in Pattaya, and you can go up in a microlight. And Franco went up and had a good flight, as it were, and they did something for him in the evening. So belated happy birthday, Franco. 21 again. Dog. Thailand is not what it used to be decades ago. Becomes more and more strict. Yeah, it's still good here. It's still good. Let me see if you sent that email. Is that a reminder? Nothing yet. Okay. All right. Okay. No worries. No worries. Just let me know. It was you who helped me with those broken links, wasn't it? Robo, how's the weather? It's hot. It's hot. What movie did that come from? It's hot, man. It was Good Morning Vietnam, wasn't it? You know, when he takes on all these personalities and he's in the chopper and he said, we're out on the highway now. And No, that was the other one. But it was Good Morning Vietnam. It's hot. Yeah, it's very hot at the moment here in Thailand. Hotter than normal. Okay. George Brooks says 20,000 baht was Kaleidoscopical Bangkok Hospital, Pattaya, quoted 1 week ago. Okay, I think the hospital, I know I pronounced that word right. I haven't heard it before. I think the hospitals in Bangkok are generally more expensive anyway. It's a city, isn't it? I went to the Bangkok hospital in Hua Hin. I thought I was having a heart attack. You know, I'm a real hypochondriac. My mother was a hypochondriac. The slightest thing, like I had an ache on, you know, I did some exercise yesterday because I've got big again. And I did I forgot about this exercise and I got some pain in. I thought, oh, I've got liver disease. I'm probably going to die of cirrhosis. Of course, it's not that. I was getting jabbing pains, you know. And I thought, oh, shit. And I went into Bangkok hospital in Hua Hin and I said, what's the problem? I said, well, I'm getting jabbing pains right here every 5 minutes. So, and they rushed me into emergency, put me down on a bed, you know, a gurney, as it were, wouldn't let me get up again. And they put the thing on, all the rubber things, you know, with a graph. They did that. They wouldn't even, I had to go for an x-ray. They wouldn't even let me walk. The porter came and they wheeled me through. It was so embarrassing, you know, through the reception. Everybody was sitting there looking at me like, oh, look, he ain't got long to go. You know, I was trying to hide my face. Had an x-ray and I had a blood test as well. And everything was normal. And I remembered I'd been doing something else the day before, which would have strained my chest. 12,000 baht down the Swanee. Right. Thomas, hi Peter from Niagara Falls, Canada. Well done on getting the lump on your face checked early. It might well have saved your life. Do you think it would have been that serious? Because it is the one that's only, you know, 1%, as it were. I won't get it cut out for at least 2 weeks because I've got to go and see the specialist, and then I've got to make the appointment with him and everything. Because the guys who do this, they move around the hospitals. You know, they're not there permanently tied to that hospital. So I've got an appointment at 9 a.m. in the morning when I get back from Hua Hin. Just a quick thank you to Anton. Listen, before I read your comment out, Anton, don't worry about that video. I mean, the scooter tour that we did was great. I enjoyed it, and so did my company. Okay, I did the Indian restaurant. That only got 2,000 views, and that's a popular restaurant. So it was a good night out, believe me. Listen, that's a very generous super chat again. Thank you very much. That's lunch tomorrow, actually, I think. A pet cat. What advice would you give to someone looking for a place to live in Bangkok with a cat? Older condos, owned and operated, smaller buildings. Is it easier to negotiate after you're already renting? The problem is in Bangkok, every building has what they call a juristic office. It's kind of like the central hub. They have a manager in there. They have a couple of maintenance guys, a couple of cleaners, and they look after the building. You know, the build most of the. I am going to answer your question. I'm just getting around to it in a roundabout way. Most of the buildings have an office, a juristic office. Like I say, a couple of cleaners, a couple of maintenance, a couple of security, and a manager. And the problem is getting the cat past them, because nearly all of them will say we don't allow pets. Yeah, what I would suggest to you, if you're looking for a place, is put a post out on Facebook and actually pay a bit of money, $20, to have it go out for a week advertising, and just tell the truth and just say, look, I'm moving to Bangkok full time. This is the area I want to live. I've got a cat. He's very clean. I'd like him, you know, I'd like somebody to offer me a property that can take a cat. The only problem is because they're limited, you'll tend to get people, they'll bump the price up a little bit. You know, I mean, this is one of the reasons why I'm moving down to Hua Hin, because I want to get a dog. I've had dogs since I was 16, you know, and I miss old Benji, you know, my old mate Benji, the beagle. And I'm going to be living in a 3-bedroom house with a carport and a little garden, and I can get a dog. You know, there's no worries with that. But when you live in a condo building, as it is, or an apartment, it's a difficult one. Sorry to be so negative, but honestly, I would really suggest advertising that on Facebook, and hopefully you'll get, you know, you'll get somebody. Or you can ask the agents here in Bangkok. But the problem is it's such a limited market, you know, pets. And the people I do see with pets, from what I'm speaking to some people who've got dogs and stuff around here, they all own their own properties, you know, so that's not an issue. And thanks again for that very generous super chat. Right. Okay, that's a fair point, Mark. I say most houses in the southeast are over 500,000 K. Okay. Yeah, but you would have worried somebody who lives up in Yorkshire who's got £150, £180 2-bedroom terraced house, you know, who's about to sell it, right? Can Canary spreads his wing. Will you check out Soy Bintabat again? Did it last time I was down there. Yeah, it was pretty quiet. It's pretty quiet. I'll read that one in a second. So Soy Bintabat is next to the Hilton Hotel, and that's a main entertainment hub. They've got their own walking street. There's 4 streets and a kind of box section, a square. So you go down this one, turn left again, and there's bars all the way around. It's nothing like Pattaya or anything like that. But there are bars with girls in them, as it were. And about a year ago when I went, it was dead, absolutely dead. I'll tell you the problem with Hua Hin. They've built too many bars. It used to just be Bintabat, Soy 80, and there was another Soy, I think it was 88. Okay, and that was enough for the people who come to Hua Hin or they live in Hua Hin, because a lot of expats in Hua Hin, and those 3 areas were enough. But now they're just chucking them up. They've got off Soy 95, they've got Wonderland. I mean, that's a huge complex of beer bars, absolutely huge. Nearly as big as LK Metro, I would say, if not bigger. There just isn't enough customers to fill them. And then not only that, all the streets you go around, there's Soy 94, it's lined with bars all the way down, so there's nothing worse than being in a quiet bar, is there? Less bars means more people in those bars. I don't know. I haven't. Maybe I'll check out Soy Bintabat when I go down this week. Right, Mike. Hi, Peter. Did you hear about young British guy that was doing wheelies on motorbike and smashed into a lady in Soy, Bangkok? She passed away in hospital, and her name was Pang. What a disgrace this guy is. So I'm sitting on the fence on this. I've got 2 opinions. Let me read the story. I'm sure everybody's heard about it. Okay, it's a big story here in Thailand. I'll read out the short story I've got, which gives the details. And I'll tell you what I think about it. Okay, right. So this is taken from the Tiger, I think it was. British tourist Brandon Mills faces up to 10 years in Pattaya after killing a Thai woman on his electric bike. His reckless stunts sparked a violent mob attack, social outrage, and now daunting legal ordeal after police seized his passport pending a criminal investigation. Brandon Mills, 22, a UK tourist from Doncaster, now faces serious jail time in Pattaya. The young man struck a 49-year-old Thai woman with an electric motorbike on August the 14th, leaving her to die in hospital. Even before the horrific crash, Mills has already drawn public anger with reckless stunts. Witnesses say he hit the woman while she rode carefully through the resort city, sparking a violent mob attack in response. Authorities have seized his passport, and Mills now must face the Thai legal system at Pattaya Provincial Court, where his fate and possibly a decade behind bars will be decided. It's a terrible situation for both the person who died and also that young man. Yeah, he was stupid. He was doing stupid things, and it's ended in a tragic way. But he's 22. Do you remember when you were 22, the things you'd done? I remember when I went down to Pattaya, I had an old beat up BMW 5 Series. I was with my friend Simon. I've told you this story before, and I was in my early 30s, and we were drunk, and we were Jumped in was quieter then, to be fair. There wasn't nothing down the other end. But I was doing handbrake turns at 4 o'clock in the morning, drunk in an old BMW. I could have killed somebody, right? So I'm not using that as a defense. What I'm saying is he's a young man. He's gone to Thailand probably for the first time. He's probably had quite a bit of alcohol. His friends are probably egging him on. He's doing these stunts, which, yeah, they're dangerous, but he's 22, He's ruined his life, hasn't he? He's certainly ruined the woman's life. She's no longer with us. It's just a very tragic story for everybody, and the fact that the mob chased him, he's lucky he's still alive. You know what the Thais can be like. He's lucky he's still alive, and there's no excuse for it. But again, I remember when I was 22, I did some really stupid things, but I was lucky, nothing happened. What do you guys think? Franco, I've just seen this now. Yes. Yeah, okay, I'm getting it now. So I must have been miles behind because I skipped forward. Hopefully, I'm not so far behind now. A different opinion on it there. Alibaba and the 40 ladies. New Baccara is London prices. Had 1 curry and 1 veg. Bill came to 21 quid. Well, you pay for what you get, don't you? I mean, if you want a cheap kind of rubbishy curry, there's places in the malls in the basement. They only cost probably 100 baht, but they taste like shite. you know, at least in there it's decent food. And for me, £21 to have a good curry is not a lot of money. I mean, I have a pillow rice, naan bread, and the word naan actually means bread, but for English that's how we describe it. Is it naan bread, a pillow rice, and a nice good quality chicken curry and a drink? I'm paying about 500 baht, 11 pounds, something like that. I didn't pay £21. Okay, travel man today. Okay, let me just grab. I got it right. Okay, right. So, although this guy helped me, I'm going to put a link up now just quickly because this guy's got a travel channel, but it's not just Thailand, and it's a pretty good. It's pretty good. I went to look at some of his videos, so he helped me out. So I'll put this link up, and hopefully he'll get a few visitors. So I've just sent that as a comment from me, Travel Man, today. So that will come up in the comments. Anybody's interested can pause it and write it out, as it were. Right. And thanks for your help again. I've tested those links. They all work now. I did already know how to do that. I don't know why I didn't do it on those two. Right. Adele Hog 6161. Peter, do you ever come across any wildlife, snakes, spiders? Oh, all the time. Lizards as well. All the time. I was walking through Benjakitti Park the other day, and a snake kind of across the path. It was only about a meter long. It wasn't a huge one. But you get them here, and I'm not exaggerating. They're probably 6 meters long. Their heads are bigger than my fist. They're pythons, right? You know, massive. They can swallow your huge animals. You know, yeah, you come across them all the time. I mean, guys who live in houses like the place I'm moving into, it's got a banana plantation behind it. So I'm sure I'm going to buy a machete and have it on hand just in case, you know, and some thick gloves in case it wraps around the dog or something like that. But yeah, you live in a tropical company. You see all sorts of creepy crawlies, snakes, lizards. Seeing a lizard is like seeing a bus go by in London. There's so many of them. If you're in the park, you know, they're a meter long, meter and a half long. They're swimming. Yeah, it's not a big deal out here. I mean, I don't know, but I've seen cases where guys have opened the bonnet in the car because the car had some problem, and there's a python wrapped around the engine because it's, you know, it's comfortable in there dark. Good to know, Paul. Good to know. Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. I'm going to show my ignorance because I don't actually know what one of them is. Does it go up that way or down that way? Damien, hot, damn hot. The hottest thing is my shorts. You could cook things in there. There is possible in orange rolls bursting into flames. It's that hot. That's it. Right. Who's this? A new name here. Peking Man Official. Okay. Radio scene full. It's hot. I told you again. Were you born on the sun? It's damn hot. So, okay. All right. We're getting a few versions of this now. There's from the film. Thanks for that. Right, Anders, the healthcare seems a lot better in Thailand. Here in Sweden, I'm having serious issues trying to convince a doctor to give me a full normal health checkup. Well, it's a lot better here and it's a lot easier here because you pay for it. You know, I mean, I don't have insurance. I self-insure. But over the last 3 years, because I'm a bit of a hypochondriac and because I'm always worried about having a stroke or a heart attack, I have a lot of blood tests and all sorts. I must have spent 200,000 because I had some quite expensive dental work done as well. I've spent about 120,000 on my I had a gum infection at the top of my gums, which infected my sinus. I had my whole gum cut open. It was real brutal, ugly. When I seen the photographs afterwards, I was like, Jesus, you know, they had to go right into the bone. I mean, that cost me, that wasn't too bad. That was 20,000 baht. I had a couple of crowns. That was 40,000 baht. I had 7 veneers along the bottom there. That was 93,000 baht. And I've had probably half a dozen probably about 6 blood checks since I've been here, which have been 10 to 12,000 a pop, you know, and other bits and pieces. So, you know, if you can get the insurance, the only reason I didn't take out the insurance because they wouldn't insure me for a heart attack or a stroke, and that was what I wanted the insurance for. Robin, how you doing? Happy Sunday, Peter and fellow mongers. Enjoying a cold run on this hot night at the penalty spot. Okay, I don't know. Where's the penalty spot? Is that in Pattaya? I know I used to drink in the streams in when I did them from the UK, but I find I get slurry very easy now. And I like to know what I'm saying and what I'm doing. I don't tend to have one now. I might have one beer at the beginning of the member stream, but that's it. Oh, okay. Is that what it is? Yeah. And that's the cancer I got. It's basal cell, which isn't a big deal, is it? No big deal. I had it for years. Don't worry about it. Okay. Small cancer spot. That you said, hi Peter, what happened? Small cancer spot. Had a test, and I got to get it cut out. A lot of people saying happy birthday to Franco. Right, the girl you see in the photo is not typical. Most are average or below average. You see in Old Blick, is it? It's all a scam and a lie. That Patia place. Okay, not sure what he's gone on about there. Lots of Scandinavians in Hua Hin. There is, yeah. There's a lot of Swiss. There's a lot of Dutch. Big community down there. Okay, Martin Rice says, "Is it frozen or it's just me? I don't think I'm freezing tonight. Am I? Is anybody else getting me freezing?" Okay. I was still talking about the girl. It says accidents don't happen. They're caused. It's manslaughter. Throw away the key. Again, no sympathy for him in that way. But like I say, he's 22 and he's going to live to regret it for the rest of his life, isn't he? Chris thought he was a... Yeah, okay, I can't say that word. Okay, Anton says, what would be the punishment for the motorcyclist accident if the motorcyclist was Thai instead of a visitor? That's a good point. I didn't know. I just assumed she was Thai. Was it? Where was she from? The girl that he hit, as it were. Okay, there's that link for Travelman Today's YouTube channel. Okay, her name was Nang. She worked at Babylon's, and sadly, well, she was Thai then, wasn't she? Okay, no worries, Travelman. Paul says, go for 65-year-old bargain. I thought you were into the cleaners in the mall, Paul. You said you always found it easier when you chase a cleaner. I mean, people who've not been to Thailand might be thinking, Christ, he's perverted. But, you know, even the cleaners in Thailand, some of them are, you know, nice-looking girls. Or women, I should say. Paul, no, I never go to the amusement rides. Two great water parks in Hua Hin, says Canary spreads his wing. I haven't been to any of them. Whichever country you're in, motor manslaughter is a serious offence. I think this case, it doesn't matter whether the perpetrator was a Thai or a foreigner. Well, they're talking about 10 years, aren't they? I'm surprised if he's killed somebody 10 years, but then again, he didn't plan it. It was manslaughter, wasn't it? Let's move off this subject now. It's depressing. Right. Pekin Manor Fisher, any advice about hair transplant clinics in Thailand? I don't have any experience of this. I mean, look, I used to have hair like there, okay, and it used to be black hair. Now it's white. There's a little bit pulled down like Elvis at the front, but I've still got hair, so I've never inquired about hair transplant. But like anything in Thailand, and especially Bangkok, they'll have loads of clinics. What you do is when you get here, you go onto Google Maps and you type in hair transplant clinic near me, and they'll all pop up, and you just go through them on Google, look at the reviews, go and visit them, get prices, whatever. They'll have it 100%. Okay, thank you for letting me know that, Anders. Okay, Martin, it's your end. Everybody else is saying there's no problem there end. Right, just say thank you to Anton. It says that's just come up there. Member for 27 months. No, the guy who hit her. What if he was Thai? I think, yeah, because she died, I think it would have to be the same charge. I mean, I know the Thais have two-tier pricing, and sometimes the rules are a bit different. But for something as serious as this, I don't think anybody would get away with it. I mean, it's the girl's dead, isn't she? It's up to you. When visiting a friend, there was a guy in prison for 6 years after killing somebody by driving without due care. He was completely depressed and spoke to no one, apparently. So I've never been in prison myself, but I've watched videos on TikTok and YouTube. And the thing is, in England now in prisons, they have TVs. You see all their, when you look at their, because these guys show off, don't they, mate? Hey, look, I'm in HMP, wherever it is. They got everything. You know, they cook in their cells and their kettles. They've got all soft drinks, all the stuff you would buy in 7-Eleven lining their walls. They've got TVs, nice, comfortable beds. They get 3 meals a day. They get let out for, free time and all this. Thai prison, it's like 60 guys sleeping on a floor without any aircon, Can you imagine how terrible it is? Especially, a young guy, 22 years old, he could be a target for other things, right? Um, terrible, terrible. Right, it's up to you. When visiting a friend, there was a guy. Oh, I've just done that one, haven't I? Okay. Right, I'm bang up to the last comment now. So if you want to leave a comment or ask me something, now is the time to do it. Right. Some people fear that the British young guy fled Thailand through a border crossing. To be honest, if it was me, that's probably what I would try and do. I would try and cross because, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't think. Well, we don't know. I'm just guessing. Um, Where's that from, Anders? Turkey is famous from for hair transplants. I always read stories about people from the UK who go to Turkey to get the teeth, the veneers and the screw-in teeth, and they come back looking like kitchen sinks, and they can't talk properly. I just been to Turkey and I've had my new teeth in. And you have to put sunglasses on when you talk to them. Like, yeah, I'm really pleased with the job. They were really cheap. And their mouth looks like a kitchen sink's been stuck in there. Now, come to Thailand and get them done. They're good here. Would you ever get a cat? I don't actually like cats, Paul. I find them a bit boring, to be honest with you. It's not. I haven't got anything against cats. I just find them boring. They what do? They sit there, scratch their nuts, and they a lot of them ruin. Like Simon's got cats, and they ruin his furniture. He's got leather settee, it's all scraped away. And I like dogs because you get a reaction from dogs. If you call them, they turn their head and they'll come towards you. If you throw a stick, they'll go and get it and bring it back. Cats, they don't even. You call their name, they don't even look at you. Hey, Peter, what is the exchange rate doing? Who's just asked me that one? Well, I'll tell you how it's doing. It's doing something like this as of today. Right. Yeah, so this has been coming up all the way through the stream. 200,000 free flights for tourists to explore Thailand. Have you seen this? Yeah, I've talked about it several times, so I won't talk about it again. But it's like all things Thailand. It is at the moment. It is just talk, nothing more than that. It might happen. It might not. Ricky 6854. I don't really do politics, mate. To be honest with you, it opens up a whole can of worms. Dutch Buddha, hey Peter, what is the exchange rate doing? I just got up there, haven't I? George Brook, bank told me my account should be reactivated within 7 days. If that doesn't happen, I'll be buying the 20k bag of rice. Okay, you're not going to have any problems with the people, the bank. They've been telling people for a month and nobody did anything. They were saying, look, if you came in and you got a bank account on a tourist stamp, unless you come in and verify all your details, like you now live here, you've got a lease or you've got a Thai wife, we're going to put the account on hold. Now, they're not going to close it down and steal your money. All they're doing is the first sign you'll get that something is wrong with your bank account is your apps will start working. So if you check your account online from wherever you live in Europe or America, wherever, suddenly the app won't work. And that means your account's been frozen. It doesn't mean they closed it and stole your money. All you've got to do is, if you're not allowed to have a bank account anymore, what will happen is you'll go in, show them your passport, they'll withdraw all your money, they'll give you your money, and they'll just close down your account. That's it. It's just they've changed the rules. They just won't give tourists bank accounts anymore, which is a shame because people who come here quite regular, it was very convenient to be able to send, maybe $5,000 to a Thai bank account because everywhere uses QR codes now. I don't use money at all here. Very rare. I'll carry 50 baht to tip the waitress if she's good. I'll go 7-Eleven. I use True Money Wallet. That's a digital payment form. Even the small food sellers out on the street, they've all got their QR code laminated on the front of their seller cart. If they cook pad Thai noodles or they cook rice on the street, any restaurant, everywhere has a QR code. The only people who don't like the QR codes are the go-go bars. I remember I went into a go-go bar and one of these, some of the people who bring the bills, they look like they've been bar girls for 40 years, but they've gone past their sell-by date and they're now waitresses and they've got attitude, And I remember one time I took somebody up to Billboard up on the third floor of Nana, and she was a typical kind of she had this attitude, she's been there too long and no please or thank you, or just attitude. And she brought the bill. I only had one beer and he'd had a beer, the guy I was with, He paid for his, and I just said, I didn't have any cash on me. I just said, oh, can I scan? That's what everybody says. Can I scan? And she snatched because she had to go back and get it. She didn't take it. Like in a restaurant, they'll say, oh, okay. And they smile, go back and they get the QR code, right? But this girl, she brought the bin, the slippers, they call it, for, I don't know what it was, 160 baht or 180 baht. And I said, oh, can I scan? And she gave me a look like I'd just killed one of her family. And then she snatched the bill pad out because she knew she wasn't going to get a tip. But as it happened, I was going to leave 50 baht, but because of that, I didn't leave 50 baht. So this digital currency thing, it is quite good. Of course, they still take money. It's not that you can't pay with money, but it just saves having a pocket full of change, and constantly having to count money in the dark and everything. It's great. It's absolutely great. Oh, don't even ask. Don't even ask about how's the weight going. Do you know what? I lost about 11 kilos. I've put it back on again. I think what it is, I had this for about 3 or 4 months. It's not because I've been overeating. I've been pretty good actually, but I never used to drink until about 9:30, and I normally went on to whiskey soda. I might have one San Miguel Light or something. What I started doing, because I was getting bored, I was finishing everything, maybe I'd go out and make a video, or I was doing some editing. It got to about 6 o'clock, and, I don't want to go out and sit in a bar till midnight, but I do like to go out and have a couple of beers. And what I was doing, I was going around to places like the Red Lion and the Sportsman, and they do happy hours, like a pint of Tiger for 99 baht. And I was going in, I was ordering a pint of Tiger. And I was looking through my comments on my phone and everything. And some nights I'd have like 3 or 4 pints. And I was doing this every night. Most nights it was 2 pints, okay? But I started doing it every night. And it's true, you drink a lot of beer and you're going to put the weight back on. But what I started doing now, I've eased off the beer now. I don't go out at 6 o'clock anymore, because what I was doing, I was going out at 6, taking advantage of the happy hours, having 2-3 pints of beer, clearing my comments on my phone and everything. And I'd come home about 9:30, jump in the shower. It's now 10 o'clock, time for a bit of TV, and it got me out of the apartment. It was a bit social because I'd meet people and stuff like that. But in answer to your question, I think you can see, right? I'm not obese. I'm not like, some people are just massive, aren't they? I'm still presentable, but there is a little bit too much, a bit too much there. Right, Damon, glad to see they're keeping the 60-day on arrival. Yeah, that's still in force. Okay, it's up to you. He says, cats do all that if you treat them right. Mine fetches too. I've never seen one that fetches. They normally just sit there and fart and look at you. Okay. I'm going to have lots of comments from cat lovers tomorrow now, aren't I? No, is the answer to that. Dog says, my 13-year-old cat looks at me every time I call him like a dog and walks on me. You just have to educate the cat. Okay, fair enough. I've never owned a cat, so probably that's what it is. Probably there are some cats that do. I've just never seen it. When are you going to relocate and take a break? I will have to watch something else on Saturday morning. I don't think I will take a break. I think what I'll do, he's talking about me moving down to Hua Hin. Previously, I'd said, because I've got quite a bit of stuff here. I've been here 3 years, right? And I've got all my... here there's 4 shelves of cameras and cables. I've got flat screen TV. I've bought a freezer. I've got an extra microwave. I've got my clothes, and I've built up. When you live somewhere, you build, you buy things, build things up, don't you? So I'm gonna have to, and my scooter as well, I'm gonna have to get that all taken down to Hua Hin. And what I thought, well, I won't be able to make any videos for a month. I've been doing it for over 5 years now. Never missed a story. One Saturday, I think, in 5 years. 2 videos a week, 1 story and something else, 2 live streams a month. And I've been doing it religiously, because that's what you have to do to retain an audience. You have to be consistent. And I said at the time, well, because I'm moving, I'm going to have to take a month off. And but I don't think I will have to. I don't think I'll have time to go out and make kind of like review videos or stuff like that. But I think I'm going to do like ad hoc streams. I probably won't be able to do the Sunday night streams like this where they're planned and I've got the competitions in the members streams. And, in the afternoon, I'm looking around on news articles to see if there's anything interesting to talk about. You guys are asking me about the 200,000 free flights and all this. I live here. I need to be able to answer these questions as best as I can. I don't think I'm going to have time to do that when I move down to Hua Hin in the process, right? But what I think I will do is I think I'll document the move. I'll I'll tell you how much did it cost to hire the vehicle that's going to take my stuff down there. This is the vehicle I got. This is the name of the company. They turned up on time or they didn't. Did they look after my bits and pieces? They did a great job. They set it all up when they got back. Here's my house empty. Here's my house furnished. I think I'll keep it going like that. And I'll do the odd live stream where I just press go live as I'm doing stuff like Phil from the pub does. He doesn't plan it out most of the time. He'll just, do a member stream and just press go live. And, at least I'm going to keep some contact with regulars. I don't want to go off for an hour, as it were, a month rather. And I enjoy doing videos and live streams, but it is very, very time consuming, especially things like the Saturday morning stories. They take me about 12 hours, I mentioned I've got the stories are coming out in about every Saturday, but I pre-do them, I pre-make them. And the one I make for in 2 weeks' time, because I'm going to Hua Hin, I'd actually made a comment on there. Somebody said to me, Peter, some of your stories on Saturday morning, some of them are a bit boring. And there's this guy who's telling stories. They're always 40 minutes long and they're always crash and burn stories. And it's always about a guy who got ripped off by a bar girl or something like that. But you never see his face. And I'm thinking, they can't be real stories, because if you read out real stories, and I say this in the upload, the stories you get, some of them are going to be sad, some of them are going to be funny, some are going to make you want to cry, some will be crash and burn, some will be a little bit boring, because they're real, genuine stories that people send in. When you're just trying to grow a YouTube channel and make money, and that's your only goal, and you're not really getting stories, you've got ChatGPT, you've got AI, and you can make all this stuff up and it sounds believable. But I just don't get it, because I get it, but I don't believe it, because you cannot have a 40-minute crash and burn story every single Saturday exactly the same. People don't send in stories like that all the time, but it's up to the person watching to make up his mind, isn't he? Right, Damon says, cash is king. I hate this scan thing. It's all to do with tracking you. That's a fact. It's like when computers came in the 80s, Damien. Nobody wanted to use computers. Could you live without one now, honestly? Ricky says, this will also greatly expect exporters in Thailand. Anders, the 7-Eleven coins is a pain. And when you're in the bars, they always give you the change. They'll give you a lot of change, because a lot of guys say, I don't want the change. It could be, as much as 60, 70 baht. Paul, do you ever use a sauna? I don't, mate, never. URL Superbod, don't they accept credit cards with topping in POS? Oh, they accept everything, but the thing with debit and credit cards, you've got to be careful, because I had a debit years ago. I was staying in, I won't name the hotel, but I was staying in a hotel I normally stayed, and somebody skimmed the card, and I was at home in the UK, and £2,000 came up on my what do you call it, bank statement. And if you're from England, you must have heard of HM Samuels, the jewelers. And I phoned at the bank, so that wasn't me. They're spending 300 here, 400 there. So they went back and looked at the CCTV, and they can track it pretty much, and they could see it wasn't me. And I actually got the money back. But the thing is, with a QR code, the money's sitting there. It's like debit. So when you look at somebody's card and you QR code it, that money instantly goes out, and that's it, done and dusted. But when you're dealing with cards, you can't really skim a QR code. I'm getting all technical now. Somebody will probably write in and say, oh yeah, it's possible if you use this software. But yeah, you can use cards as well. I just don't want to use my own cards. Hypercritical reject. Creepy crawlies are mostly found in the outskirts of town and Pattaya itself. You will generally find just creepies and snakes. Well, I'm going to be living on the edge of town as well in Hua Hin, and there's a kind of jungle behind me. I'm going to have to get CCTV in case somebody comes in and robs me. I'll leave the light on all night in my office, because that's at the back of the house. How you doing, Ernest 5973? Ho, Peter. Okay, Anton Cat Chat, you're welcome. Yeah, you started that, didn't you? Okay, I'm going to move away from the cat talk now. It's a brand new place, Paul. The house is beautiful. It's brand new. It's very, very nice. Already painted. Right, South Texas RSA. I was at an Irish pub for lunch a while ago. It was dead inside the pub, and I was the only customer. And when I paid, I thought, let me be nice, and I left a 100 baht tip. Her expression was offended. The problem is, when you go into kind of Irish and English themed pubs, Western style pubs, the Thais don't tip as a rule. Thai people don't tip like we do, okay? And what makes it even worse now, a lot of the Western style pubs and some of the Thai ones, restaurants, they're putting 10% on the bill. They never used to do that. So you'll get, say your bill's 500 baht, then you get 10% put on there. Okay, so what's that? Another 50 baht, and then there's 7% VAT put on it. So there's a 17% being already put on the bill, right? But a lot of guys don't like to leave without leaving a tip, But the most places here, they don't get the 10%. Okay, in the UK or wherever, you get a 10% service charge. Normally, that 10% goes to the staff, or half goes for breakages and half goes to the staff. Here, the restaurant owner keeps it. So he doesn't have to put his bill up. I've asked in lots of places, they don't get the 10%. So you feel obliged to leave a tip. And a lot of the time when I don't want to leave a tip, because I've got to be careful, I live here, right? I'm not rich. So a lot of the time I'll say, so that they don't think I'm being stingy, I'll say, oh, the 10%'s already on the bill. I know they're not going to get it. But the thing is, I do tip occasionally, but I can't tip every time I go out. I just can't afford it. But yeah, what I was going to say to you was, a lot of these girls who work in Western style pubs, they just got terrible attitudes. You go to a nice, a real proper Thai restaurant, the girls will smile, they'll wire you when you come in, and they got a nice attitude. But the problem with these girls who work in Western pubs, they're just spoiled. Guys go in, they tip them big, they buy them drinks, they're drinking red wine in there and all sorts. And they know they don't have to be over polite. They never why, there's a couple of places I can think of the top of my head. If I go in there, the service is terrible. They all stand together in the corner, and they're one's eating and the other's drinking. The manager's in there and he doesn't give a toss. And I really don't like. That's not Thailand for me. That really isn't. That's my whinge of the day over with. Okay. Francis from Son, is it? Peter, I'm planning to retire, explore Thailand in January 26. Where is your experience would be a good base, patio or jump tip? It's the same thing, isn't it, basically? No, if you want to live in that neck of the woods, then probably Jomtien is nicer, because you're 10 minutes away from the main part of Pattaya. But the main part of Pattaya is quite, it's in your head, it's in your face all the time. So Jomtien is quite nice. But if people say to me, where would you base yourself for a first time if you come into Thailand? I always say, spend a month in Bangkok, and then you can branch out and see where you like. Rayong, Jomtien, Pattaya, Hua Hin, Bang Sarai. But if you want to go down there anyway, yeah, I'd say Jomtien. That's it. HM Samuel Ring. Okay, Richard Woody 346. When I see a clickbait title, but then watch a video and find nothing of the sort, in content, that's an immediate unsubscribe. I think we all do it. I'm as guilty as everybody else. Putting a pretty girl on a thumbnail, it does work. In my defense, what I would say, which I've always said, if you go into a garage and you want your car tires changed, what you look on the wall, what's the first thing you'll see? You'll see a calendar by the company, Firestone tires or whatever they're called. They're not going to just show you a picture of their tire and a spanner guy. What you're going to have a girl in knee length black boots, sexy black shorts, a skimpy top, and she's going to be leaning over one of these big tires in a sexy pose. SCXLs, doesn't it? So I think everybody does it, but I think it's tight. The ones that wind me up, the titles that wind me up, is when you look at a thumbnail and it says, you won't believe what happened to this guy. When I watch TikTok and it says, the last one, 5 things or 10 things that happen, you won't believe the last one, I go off. Or if it says, you must stay until the last one, or if somebody says, spread this with as many people as you know because it's important information, those kind of videos, I just go straight off them because I know they're trying to con me. Okay, I like to watch YouTube a lot, but what I really hate now, I really hate it. 5 years ago, you looked at a thumbnail, like I like kind of historical stuff, like these guys will go up and dig up fields and there's a Roman mosaic underneath it, or they found a sunk U-boat in the middle of some sea and they bring it up, or stuff like that. And when I see a picture of say Second World War, a couple of flying fortresses, and the title's like real mission of a flying fortress from A to B, and you click on it and it's just a picture and some guys talking over the top of it. I hate those videos. I like to see like a movie style video, if that makes sense. And there's more and more of those kind of videos coming onto YouTube now where it's just somebody talking and they fill in cards, so you're just looking at pictures that change all the time. And unfortunately, there's more and more of them coming. Okay, Francis from nobody can tell you where to retire. It's what you want. It's what you want. Nightlife or a still life. Hua Hin is awful. Also for retirement and slow pay. What I like about Hua Hin, you've got the best of both worlds. It's not wild like Pattaya, but it's not dead like, say, Chatham. Chatham's a beautiful beach town, but it's dead. There's nothing there much. What I like about Hua Hin, it's got a lot of nice Thai restaurants. It's got quite a lot of bars, nice bars. You've got a couple of good shopping malls. All the big names like Macro, Lotus, all those kind of shops, Index Living Mall. There's a couple of villas, at least 2 big villas down there, Western style supermarkets. They sell Western food rather. You've got all that down there, but you don't have the hordes of certain people from around the world who don't know how to behave themselves. And that's what I like about it. You know, people down there seem to be a bit wealthy. I'll probably be one of the poorest people down there, but there's a lot of money in Hua Hin as well. You know, a lot of guys buy villas with pools, 10 million baht, you know, way out of my league, with their Thai girlfriends, I guess. You said, I hear Hua Hin is for older people, 55 plus. It depends what you like, doesn't it? I mean, there's young guys in Hua Hin, but it depends what you go there for, doesn't it? If you're a monger and you just want to go out and get drunk and pick up girls every night, then I wouldn't go to Hua Hin. But if you like a bit more of a relaxed lifestyle, but you might want that occasionally, it is there. But there's no go-go bars there. Look, I lived in Pattaya for a while, years and years ago, and I'm not, like I say, I'm not going to knock it. But the problem is Pattaya is in its own bubble down there. You know, you tend to get tied up in the local gossip and politics, and it's almost like it's its own universe. You know, I couldn't live there again, not full time. That's a difficult question, Ned Smith, V6T. I would write to Mark from One Stop Visa. There's a link in the description of this upload, and just ask him the same question. He's a professional. That he's who I use, and he's very good. It's very difficult if you're under 55. There are all sorts of visas, but they're clamping down on a lot now. A lot. They've just clamped down on these student visas. You know, people were coming in on student visas, but they weren't going to colleges. Paul, do you have a suit with you? I don't, mate. No, I've never worn long. I think I've worn long trousers twice in 3 years here. Right, last one. Ernesto 59733. I heard that if you like to tip the waitress, you have to put the tip money in their hands and they know it's for them. Yeah, I mean, if she brings a tray and you put it on the tray, it gets shared between everybody. But if you put it in her hand, she's allowed to keep it for herself. Okay, guys, it's just coming up to 9:30. I've got 15 minutes to fill up my water bottle, go for a leak, and I'll be back for the member stream. Hopefully, I'll see a big portion of you back in the member stream. Thanks for joining me tonight. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have. A big thank you to Chris, Damon, and Franco for keeping everybody in check, as it were. The guys who left the super chats, very generous as always. Thanks very much. I've got to run, and I'll be back in 15 minutes' time. Have a good week, whatever you're doing. Okay. All I want.